Okay. So there may be some network issues throughout the presentation, so I apologize for that. But throughout the session, so if it is too much, then I'll just end the session early, and you guys can do self practice. If any doubts still remain, then feel free to just email me or send me a Gchat. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's my email. Feel free to Gchat at any time. Okay. So in order to understand structures a bit better, I'll just take some examples. So it is week 7, right? No, it's week 8, is it? Yeah. Okay, so PPA 4 is not done yet, so let's just do PPA 4. So what is it telling? You are given, I'll just, okay, that does not help. I'll just increase the size of this one. I'll just read out a question. You're given an array of shapes. Write a program to calculate the combined area of all the shapes in the array, where each shape can be a square, rectangle, circle, or triangle. Okay, so have you guys solved this one already? Have you guys solved that PPA 4 already? Okay, so let's just do that one. Okay, so what can we see from the question? First, for the input, the first line contains the number of shapes in the array n. Okay, and if we look at the boilerplate code over here, int n, that is the number of shapes, and that defines the size of the array. The following line, the following n lines contain the shape identifier and its parameters. Uh, okay. So first of all, we have to see this one. For a square, the line contains 0 and side length. For rectangle, it is length 1, length and breadth. Okay, so first of all, tell me what I should write over here. Like this is the enum and this is the shape ID. So what should I type in here? What is can anyone tell me what this shape ID refers to?
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, Sir, can you repeat the questions?
Okay, so can anyone tell me what this shape ID refers to? Like what does it represent?
Uh, I think it represents that is we have to find the areas in the form of integer.
Uh, okay, that's the whole question. We have to find the areas and we have to output that one. But what does this specific shape ID part do? It is a type def of enum. So what does it do?
shape ID means uh, we assign something as integer that is defined. It is a rectangle, a square, and something like that.
Right. So it refers to the shape that we are trying to uh, calculate the area of, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
what can we see from here? Let's just go to the test cases. Otherwise, I'll just. Okay, I don't know why this is like this, and we cannot copy also. So it is telling for square it is 0, for a rectangle it is 1, for a circle it's 2, and for a triangle it's 3. So can anyone tell me what I should write over here so that uh, this is followed?
Yes. Uh, write first a square.
First we can write the square.
Yes. And we can also assign the integer, or we can left at the
We can just
I.
leave it. It is 0, so it will start at 0. So we can just
Yes.
leave it,
Okay.
right?
Rectangle. The next will be rectangle,
Rectangle,
and next one circle, and another is triangle.
and finally triangle, right? So what is this now? This is our shape ID, right? So this is if we get the input as square, then it will treat it as one. Or if we yeah, if we get the input as square, it will return one.
Zero, zero.
Sorry, zero. Yeah. So it will return zero. So it's basically storing a list of like strings, but it is essentially a dictionary where these strings refer to some integer. So square is 0, rectangle is 1, circle 2, triangle 3. So that is how it is stored. Okay. Any doubts for enum?
Yeah, actually, my another's class is running. That is a Linux. So I have to left this.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Uh, yeah, if anyone has any like question, they feel free to unmute. Sami, about type def and enum and union. Okay. So see, type def is nothing but we are giving a nickname to a certain object or certain piece of code. So over here, if you see, I can simply uh, like close that and hit space like that. So if you look at it like this, type def is simply telling that this part has the nickname of shape ID. Okay, this whole code it should be called as shape ID. Okay, otherwise we can just say shape ID is the nickname for this one given by type def. Okay, uh, in a similar way, if you look at this union part over here, again we have a union code over here. Its nickname is shape. Okay, so type def does not do anything except for giving this guy a nickname. If you notice over here, in union, you have a shape ID right here, right? So what is this shape ID? It is this one only, right? So what happens is when we refer to this as shape ID, it treats ID as this whole part. It treats it as an enum. Okay, so it is just a shortcut for writing this whole part. Is type def clear? If you have any doubts for type diff, please go ahead. I'll take that as a no. So I'll just move on to enum next. Okay, so the reason that we are declaring a nickname is because if we did not do this, we'd have to do something like this. So enum, let's say it is shape ID. It would be something like this. And then over here, instead of doing shape ID like this, we'd have to attach enum after this. So it becomes a bit lengthy, right? So because of this, in order to skip this and make it so that we can quickly and reliably reuse all of this, we just use type def. Okay, yeah. So after that, this enum part is done. So I can just fold the code and it is hidden away like this. Let's just go to the next part, which is the union. So once let's just analyze what we see. We see that it has an ID, right? So there's a declared variable as ID or declared data type as ID. There's also a declared structure given as shape ID and float, which is given to square. And there's another struct given shape ID, float, uh, length, and float breadth, which is given to rectangle. Okay. So the task in this part is that we have to write down the similar structures for circle and triangle. So can anyone tell me uh, what I should write for? I'll just do this much. Circle, and similarly for triangle. So what should I write over here? Can anyone tell me? Okay, I'll explain what union means after solving this part. Uh, so for the time being, can anyone tell me what I should write for struct circle? Uh, okay, see that's for the triangle I'm assuming, and that is partly correct. Like first we'll need a shape ID, ID, and then we'll need a float uh, height. Okay, so one thing, this one just keep it as float base and float height. The order is not really important since we'll be doing what triangle dot this anyways. But since we are getting the base and the height in that order as the input, it's better to just organize them like that for our own convenience. And for the circle, it's given over here. It's simply radius. So we can just do shape ID, and then flow radius. Okay. So did you understand what we did over here? We just created two different structures for two different shapes. Okay. We don't need to do anything for pi. Don't We can just directly use 3.14 in the calculation. Okay. Yeah. So we just created two different structs. So two different data types for circle and triangle. Okay. And the data types, the circle has the values, or yeah, the values, shape ID and radius, and the triangle has the values shape ID, base and height. Okay, so that's what we did. Now for the question, why did we use a union for this one? So can anyone tell me, uh, is it more space efficient if we had these four things sharing the same space, or if we had four different structs outside like a global data type? Okay, so a definition for union first. In union, we uh, have multiple different data types, or yeah, multiple different data types that share the same space, right? So they share the same memory location, and we can assign different values to it depending on what we want to take out. So the advantage of using union, the advantage of using union is that we tend to we can have more data types in the same space. If we are only using one data type at a time, uh, for example, in this case, we are only using either square, either circle, either rectangle, or triangle at any given time. Okay, we are not using a combination of any of these. So in this case, we can use a union uh, data structure in order to reduce the overall size or the storage that we are using. Okay, so all four of the data types, all four structs, they occupy the same space, and depending on what we want to use, we can extract that information from here. Is that okay? Okay, so that is the union part done. Let's move on to the next part. So over here we have compute area. Okay, and we have been given the shape part. Okay, so already it is given the hint using switch case. So that is a good starting point. So what should I put as the condition for the switch case? That is correct. But how will I access the shape ID? Notice that we are using the union over here. We are using a union pointer even, not even union. So how will we get the shape ID from here? Remember, this is pointers. Uh, this is not relate. Okay, this is related to union, but it is mainly about pointers. Okay, so do you guys remember this one? the arrow. What does this arrow do? Okay, so remember this one. This arrow, whenever we have a pointer like this, we use this arrow when we're dealing with structs or unions in order to, you know, get whatever we want from this one, from the struct or union. Uh, if we are given the pointer, we use arrow. If we are given the struct itself, let's say we were given something like this, then instead of using the arrow, we would simply use dot. Is it clear? Yeah. Okay, but since we were given this one, we will use this. So now, can anyone tell me what the cases should be? Remember, the case is an enum. So the shape ID is enum. So what should the cases be? The names of the shape. Are you sure? Okay, sure. Let's just do this. Uh, okay. So we have one over here. And before moving on to the rest, let's just get a default over here, which says uh, return 0. Yeah. So let's just test this one. So we have an error on line 7 itself. Okay, so it was like this. Oh, sorry, this triangle. Should be like that. Okay, in compute area, we have messed up somehow. Okay, yeah, this is not shape ID, it's simply ID. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the issue in this one? After return, okay, this one. Okay, I think I messed up a bit over here, but first of all, instead of square, let's just try 0. Shape to, let's try square to length. One second, I'll just explain what I'm doing after I try this one. Right, this one does not have length, it has side. Just a second. Shape, read shape. Okay, given that one, scanf for that. This is okay. So we had to capitalize all of these. Okay. And now if we were to just take over here, square, and then let's just try it out. Okay. Zero is square, right? Okay, what? So we have. Okay, so now I'll just explain what I did over here. So first of all, we have this shape which returns the ID, right? And ID is given by one of these four, whatever is currently present in the union. So we have a case over here, and we have, let's say we have a square as the case. So what we are doing, if it is a square, this return is doing shape. So we are taking whatever information we have over here. We are taking the shape pointer. We are taking the square element of it. So if we just look at the union over here, we have a struct square, right? So this first part, it is accessing the square. Okay, from the union we are going to the square, and after that we are accessing the side of the square. So notice, this is a simple struct. It is not a type diff or a pointer or anything like that. This square simply has a float side inside of it, right? So after accessing the square, we are directly accessing the side. Okay. Now tell me, I'm missing one thing over here. What is that one thing? Okay, so the thing that I'm missing over here is break, right? Okay, so the reason that I'm doing this one is simply because I want to multiply them, right? I want to square it. Okay, and after that, let's just move on to the next one. So after that, we have the case, which case rectangle. Yeah. So in case of rectangle, we can just simply do shape, go to rectangle dot length into shape rectangle dot breadth break. Okay, did you understand why we are doing this? We are going from shape and we are first accessing the rectangle element, and then we are taking the length from that one, and after that we are multiplying it with the breadth. Till here, is this clear? See, struct, you have to, like, even if it is just basics, just try to understand how a struct works, because I believe that one of the questions that will be coming for OPPE2, it will be a linked list question. Okay, so you have a struct. In that struct you'll have a pointer that points to the next struct, so the next element of this struct. It's a bit confusing, so in order to be able to solve that, we'll have to have like at least a basic grasp of structures. Okay, so just try and practice this one. Okay, so this one is done. The next one, i want you I want you to write the code for this one, the circle case. Okay, I'm giving you 10 minutes. Just try to write a code for the circle case. Okay, and if you're done, just raise your hand and I'll come to you. So right now it's 9:46. I'll wait till 9:56 and then I'll solve it. Okay. Okay, that is good progress, Samir. That is not a full code that I was expecting, but yeah, that's close enough. So what we can do over here is we can just do return. Now we have shape, and then we are going to the circle part of the shape, and we are taking the radius times, once again, shape goes to circle dot radius. And then one more thing, don't forget 3.14. We have to multiply by pi as well, right? Because the formula for area of circle is pi r square. Yeah. So what you did over here, it's for the most part it's correct, but yeah, we still need that. What's it called? We still need that pi one, and take care of the parentheses because in this case, this may be misinterpreted as a pointer leading to something and may cause an error. So better to put this part in parentheses. Okay. So after that, just simply break, and we are done with this one. Next case is the triangle, and over here, return shape triangle dot base into shape triangle dot height into what should I multiply it by over here? You remember the formula for a triangle, right? That is correct. We have to multiply 0.5 over here. And after that, simply break. And we have a default case over here. So that is done. That is the compute area part. Any doubts in this one? Okay. So moving on to the final part where we have to combine everything and then give it back. So over here, what do we have to do? Anywhere else do we? Okay, no. Okay, so one second. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So over here we have uh, an array and we have an int n. So the size of the array is given and the int n is given. Right. So what do we have to do? We have to do this. First of all, we need a for loop. Int I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, that's the basics. And then we have to return something. It says sum, and we write in sorry float sum equals 0. So this is the basic, right? Now for the main part, since this is the like main like the crux of the question, I'll give you 15 minutes to solve this one. Okay, it's 9:55 right now, 9:54. So I'll come back to you at around 10:10, and after that we'll discuss how to probably solve the question if it has not been solved already. Okay, so take your time and try to reason through what you have. Like you have the compute area function also, right? So just think about how you'll approach this problem. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you guys at 10. Okay, so looks like Samir has made some progress. Sum plus equals shape dot shapes. I okay. See, one thing over here is that we have to use function. Okay, this will just to add some. Actually, it is going to throw an error of incompatible data types. So I'll just solve the question. So first of all, we need sum plus equals. That much is clear, right? No doubt about it. So after that, what do we need? We need the compute area. Okay. So we have compute area of what we want. We need a shape one, right? So and shapes. Okay. So let's just test run this and hope that nothing breaks. Okay, so there was an error as expected. Line 54 in this function. Error expected that before the token. One second. Error expected this before this token. Okay, so what we did wrong over here is this one, I guess, or what did we? I'm not even sure now. But yeah, this seems to be the only error that we are getting. So if this is solved, then this, yeah, all the cases are solved. So this code is correct. Did you understand how we solved this one? Can we use array? And this one as well. And instead of that, we did this, and now we did this. So now it should work, like simply using the arrays and stuff. Or at least I hope so. It will work. Yeah, it works. Okay. So the only reason that we took the pointer was because the function used a pointer as an input. It is not, you know, anything special. Okay. So that is how we solve a question using like structs and stuff. And about struct, just remember it stores multiple information. Okay, and we can access that information through dot, like this. That is the main thing about unions and structs. And you can nest structs within structs or unions like this, and you can access them like this. Okay, so I'll just return this to the original code. And now, yeah, we can submit and see if we get the private test cases correct. And we did 100 out of 100. That is what you want to see. Okay, any questions? Sure, you can, like, I prefer gchat. I may not respond to your email, but yeah, just try to uh, gchat with me. Okay, okay, okay. So uh, that do you guys have any other topics that you find a bit like challenging or something like that? The mock question. Can you specify which mock question you're talking about? No, no, like the question number. Okay, the sixth question. Okay. Question number 6. You are provided with the name of the input and the output text files. Complete the function copy odd lines that reads the given input file and extracts the odd numbered lines, writes them to output text file. Maximum size of each line the input file is 200 characters. Okay, so this is a file reading one. Okay, I one second. Let me just see if we need to write any like int main or stuff like that. Okay, I think that we need to write int. Okay, so we do not need to write int main. It is already written. Okay, so we just need to write this one. So we are given the input file name, we are given the output file name. Okay, sorry about that. My that was bugging out. But yeah, we have to use this. So can anyone tell me what we have to do? Like what function should I use? Yeah, go ahead, Samir. Okay, good. You have already written this one. Okay, see, the thing is, over here you have to give input underscore file. Okay, it looks like we'll have to do something over here. Otherwise, I think it should be fine. Yeah. So remember, we are given the input file. This is the name, okay, and this is also the name. So we, inside of here, we have to put the name of the file, okay, and this is going to be our variable or our pointer, right? So just keep the name as needed. Output.txt. See, that is the name, okay? That's the name of the file that we are using. Okay, we are given the name over here. This output file, it is the name. And as you can see over here, output1.txt, output2.txt, output3.txt. It does not have to be the same as output, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so after that, what should we do? Okay, so you have written a code. Let's see if this works. So a few things that we have to do. Okay, this part is okay. If output file equals, okay. So now if you just see, if input is null, return nothing. Okay, if output is null, F close the input. And then car line max whatever line number, okay, that is fine. While I've get is line size of line input is not equal to null. Okay, do we have a max line length given? Okay, it's given here 200. Uh, okay, this one. Okay. So, Samir, can you tell me something like, did you get this off of ChatGPT or something like that? Yeah. Okay. So, see, it is not that uh, tough. Okay. So, this first part, okay, that's fine. The second part also fine. Just make sure to, properly have the like the indentation and stuff. Just make it proper. The character line, okay, line number equals that. While that is not equal to null, that's fine. If line number is that, okay, that's fine. And then line plus plus, okay. Okay, so I don't think this will be working. Okay, that's so let's just test it out. Yeah, error 26. So line 26, I expected identify. Okay, so we do not need that now. That much is okay. So now if we just okay, and now it works. Okay, it works perfectly fine. Okay, so what's your question in this one? Why are we taking input? Okay, see, that is the question, right? So we just had to write a function. We did not have to write a whole code, okay? And we have been given an input file. Okay, this is the name of the file. This is not anything else. And we have output file. This is also the name of the file. Okay. So firstly, we are opening this one. We are opening the file, and we are setting the first character as the pointer. Okay. So we are using the file. For example, in this case, it's input one. So this is our what is it called? This is our file from which we are taking the information. This is our input file. Okay, and we want to write it into the output file. So instead of having instead of having the user repeatedly typing in the names of whatever or whatever information we have, we simply just have a text file, and we take the input from there, automatically sort and do whatever we want, and then just close it. So in this case, there's no like user involvement like needed. There's no user involvement needed. Why are we taking input instead of output? We don't really have to. Like, see, whenever we take this pointer, whenever we take the file input pointer, after opening this one, the first character of any file, it is already, like this pointer points to the first character of the file opened. Okay, so whatever lines are there in the file, we can access it easily. And if you're asking why we are using uh, input instead of output of txt, like the .txt, are you asking? That's just a naming convention. Okay, this pointer is just a name. You can put whatever you want over here. This input underscore file is also just that one. Okay, we cannot use dot in variable names, so keep that in mind. Okay, so anything that is a valid variable name you can use for this one. Well, I can even call this probably just one second. In input underscore file replace with, let's say, Wolverine. Okay, and then let's say I replace output with I don't know, Superman, and then I replace input with what? Batman, and then output with Deadpool. Even now, this code still works perfectly. Okay, so the name does not matter. What matters is how you are using it. Okay, so in the previous one, the name of the file is given as input, I guess. Like if it's given that the file input file's name will be input.txt, in that case you can directly use it. Otherwise, you'll have to use the method that we used over here. Uh, sure. Okay, one second. Void create file int arr and okay. File open. Okay, so in this case, notice that we are using the like quotation marks. That means that this is a string. Okay, we are naming the file that we are opening as output.txt. We are not opening a pre-existing file. Okay, so we are so like the file that we want to create. Okay, we want that file to have the name output.txt. Okay, it is if I were to give it a name, it is a literal. Okay, so we are directly inputting some value instead of using like variables and stuff like that. So for example, if I were to say like 5 plus 2 instead of x plus y, I would be using literals instead of variables. Okay, 5 plus 2, we know it will always be 7, but x plus y, we don't know. The value depends on the variables, right? So this output of .txt, it is a literal. It is already predefined that we want to create a file that is named output.txt, nothing else. And in the case of this, in the case of this code, we are using a name, right? Okay, I'll just change it. Yeah. So we are just using a name over here. That name can be anything. Notice here we have output 1 through output 5, right? The names are different. So that's why we are using a pointer instead of literal. Okay. Yeah. So do you have any other questions, Samir? Okay. So in that case, I guess we can end the session. Thank you for staying till the end. I'll just close the recording now.